I'm afraid that if people really knew me, they'd leave.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. I'm afraid that if people really knew me, they'd leave. Let's talk about that. So, do you ever feel like people, if they ever fully understood Will Taylor, would leave?
Yeah, acquaintances, yes. I feel like my core friend group, my relationship, and my family, they just know me now.
They accept you for who you are.
Yeah. But it's been a journey to get to that point on like not going wholeheartedly into just being a mad YouTuber that just works all the time. It's like that's been I've exposed it slowly to the world in terms of my immediate world, rather than just one day being completely unemployed, the next day working 14 hours a day.
What do you think that effect has on you as a person, though? Almost numbing yourself or watering yourself down to make yourself appear more palatable for others.
Yeah, it felt exactly like that. It felt watered down. It felt like I was almost there, but I wasn't 100, like I wasn't all the way there. Whereas now I feel like free. Like I can just be a mad nutter and that's all right.
So do you feel like people really do know you then?
I think so, for the most part. Like I'm what's the saying? I wear my heart on my sleeve. Is that it?
That's the saying.
It's like there's no secrets. Like I just am who I am. Like it's boring. That I think there's a bit of comfort in the fact that my life is genuinely that boring. It's like I wake up in the morning. I went to the gym this morning. I had to throw that in there.
I'm impressed.
Thank you very much. Only passed out once, so that's good.
Your monthly gym session.
Yeah, that's
tick.
It. Just live my life. Wake up.
So are you saying that you are completely open? There's nothing that you keep secret, or there's nothing you don't share, or do you feel like there are things that you felt like if you did share with people, it could arguably ruin a relationship, put more stress on the relationship, people would view you in a different light? Because I suppose what this one is suggesting is we are to some degree completely authentically ourselves to a different degree with each person. So with you, I might be 85, but with someone I've just met, I might be 30. With someone I've just met, it might be more because there's less stress there. There's less emotional sort of barriers in the way. So I suppose what this is suggesting is to some degree you are letting people in to your inner thoughts and workings of your mind. However, are we scared that if we were 100% with everyone, people wouldn't accept us?
Yeah, I think that's probably that. It's fundamentally that I think we want to be accepted by as many people as possible, because that, like, safety in numbers ideas. But in reality, I think if you were just to be 100% of yourself, you'd find, you probably rub some people the wrong way, but the people who actually do like you will like you a lot more and respect you a lot more for just being more of the thing that they like.
I suppose the reason we feel like we need to be accepted is because we want to feel part of the tribe. We want to be part of the community at large or in a very small pocket. And sometimes we feel like we have to adapt to the needs or the status quo of that tribe and or community to feel like we have to fit in. I suppose this is, again, what this one is suggesting, that we have to maybe water ourselves down at times. And is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? This is one of the thoughts that it suggests humans don't speak out loud. So thoughts that humans don't admit out loud is that they're afraid if people really knew me, they'd leave. So are there any parts of yourself that feel too much, not enough, a little bit risky to share with other people?
There's a couple of things. Like, I don't know, I'm aware that I lack in certain areas of my life. So that's a concern. Like, because it's also who I want to be versus who you have to be sometimes. It's like, I can't be the balls to the wall YouTuber when there's washing up to do, when there's like clothes to put on the wash, like when you've got to go to the shop and get some food, you've got, there's like life stuff that gets in the way. So that impacts life and also how you can behave in certain relationships. The other thing is like to be your authentic self. It's like, what if your most authentic self is not a social person? Like, that's a fear, because then it means that, well, everyone always says I should be my most authentic self and not be afraid to share like who I really am. But if your authentic self is the person that doesn't share, then it's like, what do you do? You know?
Would that be a problem, do you think? If someone's authenticity was to be somewhat of a hermit and a bit of a recluse?
Yeah, well, you just wouldn't build or strengthen relationships.
You'd isolate yourself, wouldn't you? But I suppose, again, that fits perfectly into this, that if that person was afraid to be who they truly were, people would leave because they would be isolating themselves through choice as well in that scenario.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to self-acceptance. So whether that's self-acceptance or whether we feel like we won't be accepted by society's standards, because from a young age we are imposed with certain society standards, whether they're beauty standards, success standards, behavior standards, whether that's through conditioning of parents or friends or social media or outside influences, it has such a big impact into who we are as a person. And that sometimes when we're in that stage of really trying to identify who we are and exploring who we are and making mistakes and trying again, we lose that element of childlike wonder and creativity, which is really where we need to embrace it the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
And consistent comparison is going to lead to feelings of inadequacy. That inadequacy is not going to come from like matching your internal values, because you're going to be judged by external values that you've deemed to be important. I suppose as well it comes from a fear of rejection. And I wonder if that's a fear that's inherent in all of us. Do you have a fear of rejection?
I suppose I do, but it will depend on the day of the week or who it is. It's like, I know I want to be accepted by the wider community of YouTubers. That would probably hurt if they rejected me in one way or another. Especially if it triggered on like my own insecurities of the fact that I've only got big because of shorts. Like, and the reason they're not accepting me is because I can't get big on long form. It's like, that's, you know, that would hurt. But because I would know it's true, that's the other thing.
So it hurts more when it pulls on an insecurity that we are aware of. If there's actual weight to it, it's going to carry more power than if it was, oh, I don't like your shoes, or something you haven't deemed to be important.
Yeah, it's like, me neither. I don't like my shoes. They're just shoes.
Yes, I agree.
The other one is like just randomers, like people in public. Like, I suppose this is sort of the thing you need to have the confidence to go up on stage and play in front of people, is like, I just don't care what you think.
So where does that come from? Because you have had a career, and still arguably do, you perform live as a guitarist, as a singer. And that's so authentic, that's so real, because you're playing as best as you can in that scenario, and you're hoping that people receive it well.
Yeah.
What does that take? What toll does that take to be on stage in front of people in that way? Because some people can't even public speak, let alone perform.
I can't public speak. I can just perform.
You not public speak?
No. I'm used to that. I mean, I probably could.
I mean, you're doing it now.
Yeah. But I can't just talk to a camera for an hour by myself.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't do a solo speech. Like, it would have to be very carefully crafted and practiced, like thousands of reps to be able to actually do it. And that's sort of what I've done with music, is you expose yourself to it over time so that it becomes more and more less daunting.
Confidence comes from exposure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you start off with open mic nights and then work your way up to like the 2-hour gigs. You don't just do the 2-hour gig.
Yeah, that would be
not to
great.
mention thousands of hours of practicing at home that everyone discards because you're a kid when you do it, but the reality is that's like when you learn to play the guitar, that's when you learn the songs, that's when
Sometimes we disregard the hours we spend on something we love, rather than actually going, you know what, I've spent hours of time onto this particular skill, and it may not be particularly relevant in modern life, but it's got so many transferable elements that I can adopt. Even if you just say, you know, I've spent X amount of hours, you know, building this computer. It may not be completely relevant to the job you're in, but it shows you've got determination and discipline to see something through.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. The last one I want to touch on is the pursuit of perfection, which might rain on people's parade when it comes to feeling if people really knew them. And again, it touches on that inadequacy, but do you feel like perfection is something that one can achieve?
I think you can have perfection in domains. I don't think you can be like a perfect human.
Expand on that.
So I think you can become a perfect friend for somebody. I think you can become a perfect boyfriend for somebody. I don't think you can ever be a perfect person, because just by the fact of you being perfect for one person means that you won't be perfect for somebody else. It's like a push and a pull. But I think you can... That doesn't mean that you're bad or you're gonna be just a horrible person. It's like it's okay to be just average at a lot of things. Like, remember, 50% of the population is average. Like,
yeah, the pursuit of perfection is gonna, like you say, it could damage you in the long term, especially when it comes to interactions within people, because if you're going to be perfect for everyone, there's going to be a huge amount of abandoning yourself to fit the mold that other people want for you, because you're not living by your standard of perfection or your values, you're living by theirs. And you're going to feel like an imposter if you keep living by someone else's values. Am I afraid that people will leave if they really knew me? When I was younger, 100%. I did not feel adequate in who I was as a person. All these things we've discussed, chasing perfection, lack of community, wanting to fit in, these all came from a deep-rooted sense of worthlessness, not feeling good enough, all of the above, I suppose. So when I was younger, this was, very true. I wanted people to like me rather than trying to like myself. And I was really scared that if I was inauthentic to the person they wanted me to be, they would leave. And the ironic tragedy there is maybe I had a lot of friendships leave because I couldn't keep up the charade of being who they wanted to be. Rather than turning up authentically for myself and allowing the friendships to progress naturally. Because you don't have to be friends with someone that you see eye to eye with. The same thing with relationships. You're going to have times where you disagree, or maybe you have slightly different values or levels of importance. You don't have to have the same hobbies, etc. But it's just someone that you can be authentically yourself with. So when I was younger, 100%, I was scared that people would leave. Big time. Now, I feel very robust in my sense of self. I feel very self-assured of who I am. Don't get me wrong. There's always going to be waves, and there's always bouts of comparing myself to someone else. You know, comparison's a thief of joy, always wanting to be more, trying to work harder to be better in different domains. So it's not like I think that I'm finished or this complete picture, but I have a more robust sense of self to know that the people that are in my life are likely going to stay because I've been authentic with them from the get-go.
yeah. And other people around you as well. Like, people forget friendship isn't an on or an off thing. It's like a longevity thing. It's like the longer you're around somebody, they're going to see you grow and develop as well. It's like, great.
And you should be learning and developing and growing together with people, because you are, a combination of the top 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. And if those people are stagnating and not working on themselves, whether it's business, social, relational, interpersonal, internal, you'll likely not work on those things too, because your friendship group or people you surround yourself have not deemed those things to be important.
Yeah. I don't know how people can't progress. Like, how can you just not?
Do you think it's a choice, or do you think it's
Yeah.
bliss? Ignorance is bliss?
Yeah. Literally. Like, I think even if I was to be surrounded by people who weren't doing anything, like, what do you do? I would literally, like, single-handedly, I'd make sure they all made progress. Like, I can't stagnate.
I don't think you would want to bring them along, though. I think from what I know about you, you would be like, I'm going to give you chances and I'm going to help, but after a while you're going to burn that bridge and I'm going to leave you on the other side.
Yeah.
Have you crafted the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with, or do you think that that would change as you progress within this journey? And I won't find offense if you say that, you know, if you progress within this journey professionally, you're going to spend more time with people that are more professionally adept.
I used to care a lot more about it than I do now. Like, I knew that there was nobody in my life when I was a teenager that was going to be able to give me advice on how to make the most money possible. Like, I just knew it. So I spent all my time on YouTube. Because it's got to be the same thing, right? Like, if the 5 people I spend the most amount of time with are YouTubers that, or finance people that make YouTube videos, it's like, I'm not going to get access like that in my actual life. So I'm going to spend hundreds of hours just watching these guys. And I think I probably did thousands of hours over the years. And now it's like I've met people, I have contact with people, but also I know the path now, or predominantly know the path, and then I'm just looking to build those connections with other people that can give me better advice. But it's so annoying because YouTube is great for giving you tutorials on how to get from like 1 to 10,000 subscribers. There's nobody making videos where you get from 10 to 100 million subscribers.
That's because it gets harder and the people get fewer.
Yeah.
You know, the mountain gets smaller at the top. You know, there's going to be less people up there.
Yeah.
But Chris Williams had said something very similar to what you've suggested there, which is we live in a golden age where you can get any bit of information on any topic straight into your ear. The opportunity to progress has never been more apparent. And why are people not taking advantage?
Because they can do it tomorrow.
Interesting. I like that.
Like, why would I stop doing the relaxing, or stop doing the smoking weed, or stop doing the, I don't know, just vegging out on the sofa?
Procrastination. Yeah. Whatever it might be.
It's like, I could just do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes around, it's like, oh, I'm actually quite tired today, so I'll just do it tomorrow. Same thing as the gym with me. It's like, I'll just do it tomorrow. I've stopped lying to myself now. It's like, I'm just going to be a fat slob. Or I might be skinny fat, but that's, you know, is what it is. Until something, I tell when something switches in my brain, and I've usually got a good couple of months where I can really train and do well. And then after that, it just sort of dies off again. But that's just the way it goes.
Maybe because we live in a world where we are very comfortable. Tomorrow, for the vast majority of people, is often promised. Obviously, death is always apparent. It is the only consistent in everyone's life. It's the only 100% certainty you can have from the moment you're born, which
only
is
death and taxes.
Yeah, very sobering reality. However, because the likelihood of my life being healthy and life full of life tomorrow is quite high, why would I spend today making it more difficult? Because that's what you are choosing to do, is you are choosing to make life more difficult in the short term. But it's that argument of, do you want short-term pain for long-term gains, or do you want short-term pleasure and long-term pain?
Yeah.
Something I've definitely thought about recently as well. I know I've been comfortable in different regards. However, I think it will touch onto different points that we're going to talk on later in the episode. However, I've lived a life that I'm very grateful for. And I know I can go through hard things. However, I am curious of the longevity of the choices I've made. But I think now that's starting to change as an adult. But I also think it's very much based on where you want your life to pan out. Yeah, that was a really good one. I'm afraid that people really knew me, they'd leave. Hopefully, they will never leave you, Will. And you'll be full of life and full of love.
Fingers crossed.
For the rest of your life, until the moment you die.
Yeah.
Which will be a couple of hours.
Food coma after yummy noodle.
I can't wait, dude. I think I'm going to get a pad thai today.
Are you? With extra meat?
Always.
Same as always?
Yeah. Sometimes I envy the freedom of people who've made worse choices than me.
Yeah.
I can relate. 100%. Sometimes I envy the freedom of people who've made worse choices than me. What I'd like to do is we normally jump into how one of us feels on this one, but let's talk in a broader sense.
Okay.
So why do we think people would envy freedom of people that have made worse choices? I suppose, how do we define worse choices as well? Do you think worse choices is impulsivity?
Could be. I think it's whatever is the opposite to what you would consider to be the right thing to do. So if your personal goals are finance based and long term, I'm going to work at this job and I'm going to earn this amount and get a salary and buy a house, then the worst decision for that person would be to not earn any money, go and do reckless stuff, spend loads of money, but the opposites basically.
So the quote unquote worst choices comes from someone's values. You know, for me, someone that wants to travel, a worst choice could be someone that's never left the UK. Interesting. Yeah, I like that. So I suppose it's suggesting that you're going to envy those that have a lack of discipline in areas you've chose to be disciplined in. Like, for an example, for me, before we get into how we feel, but in that direct regard, is I take a lot of care in going to the gym and what I eat. There is a slight envy of people that eat whatever the fuck they want. You know, have pizzas every night. No, but like to the point of indulging themselves. Right. You don't do that. To like takeouts every night and shitty food and just microwave meals and pizzas and whatever it might be. There's a slight envy there because I'm like, wow. But then it's also, I understand the lack of self-respect that comes from that. So that's a whole different story. However, freedom, it implies that worse choices would give someone freedom. Is that because better choices restrict you, or is it because the better choices with the air quotes is a harder decision in the short term?
I think it's the idea of if you are on a path towards a goal, you're on a path. If you're making worse decisions, you're not really on a path. You can sort of just wiggle around and go wherever you want. So there's that's, I think, saying that freedom isn't a good thing necessarily. It's freedom as in what the others say, off the rails. Like you're not locked in for anything.
Freedom can often look reckless from the outside.
Yeah, for sure. So it's just like going at life without a plan.
Sometimes you need to make choices that put walls around you so you're still progressing in the right way. Sometimes, because it's everyone chooses to live their life differently. Some people are going to be that complete scatter where 1 minute they're doing this, 1 minute doing that, and who are we to say what's the right way to live or not? God knows.
That's the wrong way to live.
I've been a little bit more scatty. 100%.
The wrong way to live.
If you say so, mate.
Yeah, did you not find that to be true?
Yes and no. I've lived some amazing experiences that I know half the people that I know, if not more, out there on the average, have never lived and will never live. But yes, I am not living in my own place and I don't have a partner. All these things that I've had to sacrifice. So yeah, freedom often looks reckless from the outside. Sometimes we do need a bit of structure because it's not sacrificing. It's really just understanding what you want to disregard to be able to be better in the long term. But I think there's a hidden burden that comes with being the responsible one. Always making the right choice, always being sensible. So I suppose there's the envy that comes from someone that can have a complete reckless abandon. You know, you can look at a decision they make and go, that was clearly wrong. You must have known that. And they're like, haha, yeah, but I did it anyway.
Yeah. Reminds me of those films where they always have like the crazy reckless one that doesn't like care about anything, and they always pair them up somehow with a character that is like their brother-in-law or something, and he's like so square and so
the loose cannon, the wild card.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, we've just finished our dinner, now we're gonna go out to a strip club. It's like, what? No, I've got work in the morning. So we're gonna go to the clubs after. It's like, okay.
I'm glad we don't have anyone like that in our group.
Yeah, not anymore. Used to.
Very true.
Used to be me. Yeah, Saturday night, let's go.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
So I
Who
suppose
let the dogs out?
I suppose the resentment comes from always feeling like you're doing everything right, which is a lonely road because that takes discipline. And sometimes people aren't going to understand that doing everything right is going to lead to a better outcome, so it can feel quite lonely and isolating.
And there's a lot of pressure as well. It's like if you know that you've done everything right, or you know that you've followed your plan, to a T so far. The pressure to stay on track and to keep doing everything and to not go off, because that blows the whole time that you've been on the path out of the water, because you've decided to, like, I'm saving up for a house, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house cash, that's my goal. And you work and you work and you save for like 10 years, and then you make one bad decision, which is, oh, I've got 60 grand in the bank, let's buy a car. All of that progress gone just because you had a reckless decision. It's like, you stay on the line.
You end up typecasting yourself and putting yourself into a box, and sometimes that box can lack creativity and freedom.
Yeah.
So sometimes you need to break the mold, but in small, palatable ways, rather than complete off the rails. Calculated freedom, calculated bad decisions.
Yeah.
Rather than completely wasting all your money on a car when you've been saving up for a house.
Yeah.
So do you think people envy freedom or the absence of expectation on them? Because I think the two are very different. So freedom being total and utter freedom. You can do whatever you want, go wherever you want, be whoever you want, make any decision you want without any sort of barriers in place. Whereas absence of expectation is the pressure that you've either put on yourself or others have put on you dissipates.
That'd be better.
So you think people envy the absence of expectation? Do you think people have put expectation on you, or do you think you've put more expectation on you? I know your answer, but I'm curious.
I put more expectation on me.
100%.
Yeah, like, I think it's because only I really know what I'm capable of, or what my potential is. Like, the whole idea, like, it's so motivating when you've got nothing and you're starting out. The idea of, no, like, what percentage of your potential do you want to achieve by the day you die? And anyone who says anything less than 100% is like, what you doing? So there's like, and then you start actually doing it and you're working towards it, and then suddenly it becomes this thing of like, oh wait, I've achieved loads of stuff. What's my actual? I thought I knew my potential. Like, now, like, the sky's the limit and more.
Because the more you learn, the more you understand you're capable of.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes we think we're just living point A to point B, but in reality that's point A to point B on level 1. And then you reach point B and you're like, oh, let me go to level 2, and then it's point A to D, and then so on.
Yeah, it's wild. There's a lot to do.
You want to gamify your life and always be working on the next level.
Yeah.
What power-ups can you get to help you move up quicker? What team members can you use to help sort of expedite that process as well? Can you jump a few levels at once? And ultimately, what levels are you happy to take a back step? Because it's not like the game of life is just one singular level. It's probably you've got a level out this way, a level out that way, a level out this way. And to go forwards on a career might mean that you're going to sacrifice a little bit of social life. So you've got to, I suppose, work out which levels you're willing to work on and which levels you're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Is responsibility always virtuous?
I would assume so.
You would assume so.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a responsibility you would have that is not virtuous. What's a responsibility? So I have to pay rent.
Do you think responsibility is self-imposed? So I suppose responsibility...
What's the difference between responsibility and an obligation?
Responsibility, I suppose, is something you have chose to take on and look after, whereas an obligation is something you have to do. So I would say responsibilities are not always virtuous because it would depend on the morality of the context, and the end it serves. I suppose it becomes into the moral duties in which we interact with. Responsibilities are on average virtuous because it would build trust, it would foster personal growth, it would hold you accountable, it would sustain institutions, because obviously that is built on trust and responsibility. We trust that you're responsible enough to turn up every single day for work or self-employment or wherever it will be. However, responsibility for, say, an immoral cause or conflicting responsibilities can sometimes lack virtue. A person can be highly responsible and reliable in carrying out commitments to an unworthy or harmful cause, such as criminal conspiracies or oppressive regimes. So that responsibility would not be virtuous.
No.
So I suppose it depends on the morality.
Well, they wouldn't be able to make sales unless they were pleasing customers.
Who?
The drug dealers or whatever.
People love drugs.
Yeah. But like, if there's a willing customer, like, profit is the applause your customers give you for doing a good job. So if you're making money doing something, it's because your customers appreciate it.
Mm. There you go, drug dealing 101.
Well, but it's the same with anything. It's just like, drugs is a big business.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous. So, what last thing I want to talk about before maybe we jump into freedom in ourselves with people that have made worse choices. What sacrifices come with being dependable that no one acknowledge? For me, it's the quiet sacrifices that it takes day after day. The subtleties that people don't see.
I think it's just the monotony.
Yes, exactly. The discipline that it takes to show up every single day for the responsibility you have deemed to be important.
Whether you get rewarded for it or not. That's the tough bit.
Yeah, and I suppose that's where the envy comes in, is the reward might be years down the line. And you've got to just trust that you're making the right decisions day after day after day.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
That is truly believing in yourself.
That's draining. Do you think maybe people need to believe in themselves more, and that's where the freedom, people that maybe choose to embrace more freedom don't trust themselves enough to be consistent?
Yeah.
I wonder if that plays into it. I do, actually. Now thinking about it, that's really interesting. I don't think it's probably the only reason, but I wonder if that is a reason why people don't trust themselves, is they need to feel like they can abandon things because they don't trust that they have the discipline and the grit to keep going.
But you might, like, this is the thing I've found is, like, you can surprise yourself. It's like, if you told me 3 years ago, no, you're going to be able to make like 10 shorts a day, I'd be like, no, my max capacity is 1. What are you on about? It's like, have some self-belief, stick with it. You learn how to do things better, and more efficiently. And, I think just having that belief to go, okay, no, I'm following this, and like you see progress throughout. It's like, what can I do now versus what I could do a year ago? And be like, okay, I have made progress.
Hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? When you look back and you see the decisions that you've made of sticking with something, you can see the exponential growth. It's that delayed gratification argument. And again, the whole reason I think people should go to the gym, because it teaches delayed gratification. We live in a world of instant gratification.
Yeah.
It doesn't satisfy me if it doesn't gratify me instantly.
Yeah. Or by the same ticket, they should all become YouTubers.
The world is just YouTube. Everyone's trying to live outwardly for each other. That would be interesting.
That's where we are, isn't it?
Arguably. So, Will, sometimes I envy the freedom of people who've made worse choices than me. Do you envy people that have made worse choices than you? Or rather, what traits do you envy in people? Maybe that's a good place to start, because I know you well enough to know that you have really embraced your way of living. You love your life. So to have this as a blanket statement might be a little bit too easy for you. And be like, no, I don't envy people that have made worse choices than me, because my life is great. Yeah. However, what choices do you envy in people?
Like, I envy people who can just go and impulse buy stuff without guilt. Mm-hmm. Because like, I walked to Greg's, right? Well, I drove to Greg's and then walked in, and there's a car thing in there. There's a nice Mercedes. Like, what's the price on that? I could buy that. Like, the people who would just go and buy that and not feel any guilt for forever about that. Like, I'm envious of that. Like, I'd love a convertible 2-seater sports car Mercedes. Like, it'd be quite nice, I'd drive around it. But the guilt I would feel on the fact that I've just reset me and my girlfriend's goal to buy a house is like, I just couldn't live with myself.
So the guilt would come from abandoning a value or a discipline that you've put regard on.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever get over that fear of spending money or the guilt of spending money to that extent? Because I'm sure that's something that maybe plays a part in a lot of people's lives, not everyone, because people are all too happy to go into debt and to get 0% interest credit cards and all these kind of things.
People are happy to get 30% interest rate credit cards.
Yeah, Mentor, the Klarna paying 3, ClearPay paying 4. So people are all too easy and comfortable to get into debt, but do you think you'll ever get to a place where you would feel more comfortable spending that sort of money?
I think when my realistic monthly outgoings are covered by income I feel I'm not having to work too hard to get, which is YouTube, and there's enough left over, and like you can still afford the holiday, like all expenses are covered, holidays are covered, like you've paid your house off, whatever. After that point, it's like, what is there to spend money on? It's like, now I can have some fun. If it's not even fun. It's like, I just want to experience what it's like to buy a new car, or I want to experience, and it's just getting those experiences that way. It's like, and that's the reward for all the years where everyone was saying, Will, you really need a new car. Your car's done 187,000 miles. Like, you really need the rattle in your car, Will.
I mean, I'm no one to speak. My car is equally as poor.
Yeah, but everyone says get a new car. It's like, that's not a priority right now, you know?
It's a status symbol.
Will, how many holes do you have in your jeans? Like, get some new jeans. Like, I like my ripped jeans.
It's a liability, a car, as opposed to an asset. And
yeah, well, unless there are some
assets.
cars you can get that go up in value.
Really?
Yeah, like the Lotus Elise will hold its value if you buy it at a good mileage. The Ford GT is another one. There was another one as well. Oh, Tesla Roadster.
Okay.
As long as you keep that low mileage. So there are some you can do.
What else do you envy of people? Anything else that people have made, choices they've made, lives they've lived that you envy? Or are you very content in the life you've lived?
I'm pretty happy. I don't think there's much I would change. Maybe you give me yours and then I'll see if I want to copy.
Okay, yeah. So I touched on it briefly, is people that maybe take less care of themselves when it comes to food and gym. There's a slight envy there because I've put a lot of power into that. It's a big part of my life. And don't get me wrong, I'm grateful for it. I am extremely healthy, in great shape, and I train to be able to do anything. You know, if you messaged me tomorrow and was like, do you want to go wakeboarding? Do you want to go climb a mountain? Do you want to go bungee jumping? Do you want to go whatever it might be?
Trampoline park.
I can do it. You know, not a worry, not a fear, not a, oof, maybe, am I fit enough? It's like, I can do it. If someone was like, oh, I'm going to go do Kilimanjaro tomorrow, I'd be like, it would be tough, but I can do it. I wouldn't feel the need to train. That's why I do it. However, there is envy in the people that don't do that. And to me, that is a worse decision. Or eat poorly, that's a worse decision. And there's a bit of a, oh man, that must feel quite nice to not have that, like, guilt. There is also an envy, not necessarily in a worse choice, but I think I've always envied people that are extremely driven in one singular focus. I say it's a blessing and a curse that I love too many things and I want to try too many things. And those people that have maybe gone, you know what, I love my career and I want to progress in it. You know, my old head of sales, she's now manager of Thailand and Laos for Intrepid Travel. She's doing unbelievably well. Like, she's so smart and switched on, and I hope her the best in the career because she could be like C-suite easy. Like, she's got her head screwed on. I envy that, you know, like, wow, like, and that's not a worse decision at all. That's incredible. I envy people that have got that single mind focus. Whereas I'm too distracted. I'm like a magpie. I see a shiny thing. I'm like, oh, I can try that. That's so cool. And I'm not mad about that about myself, but I envy the people that are like, nope, this is what I want. Headstrong. I'm going like balls to the wall for it. I envy that.
Yeah. You should start a YouTube channel called Connor Explores. It is just that, like, whatever. Nobody knows what video's coming out today.
Today, Connor tried pottery. He was bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think doing one YouTube channel would be hard enough, you know. I don't know how you've got multiple, but honestly, doing Beneath the Noise is enough for me because as we grow and we get bigger, the content needs to get better, so we need to get more intellectual. We need to get more brainy. Yeah, we need to have more smarts in our pants. There we go. Thank you. And yeah, so I would be singular focused on this, which maybe will counteract all of the envy that I feel for others, because I'll be singular focused. I'll be sitting on a beach in the Philippines going, oh yes, this is a very smart book. I'm very smarty pants and I'm ready for the next podcast where I can sound big brain.
Yeah, and I'll be playing catch up the entire time.
No, I reckon there'll be a day when this takes off that we will do like a month long. It won't be long, but like a month where you can go do a little bit of backpacking. You can experience it, and we'll immerse you in as many cultures as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that my backpacking will be... That sounds awful. Like, why would I live out of a backpack? I earn money. Like, I can afford a house with a roof, you know? That sounds better.
I mean, it doesn't mean you live in your backpack, but carry on.
No, I don't even know, but, like, I would wear different clothes. No, I'd wear the same clothes. I wouldn't wear, like, the typical, like, shorts and like that. And then the big hat that comes out to here is all backpackers having that sunglasses, walking with their bags like this, as if they're, like, triumphant in some sort of goal. And it's like, no, just pop Tesco's. It's easier.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm excited to go to Indonesia.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I'm looking forward to everything it can offer me and tipping people heavily. It's so cool. Like, if I want to buy a bottle of water, please. Oh, that would be whatever their currency is. Okay, cool. Have 100 times that.
Yeah, that would be cool. We'll have to make sure we go to local places, because there's a lot of other countries that have obviously moved over there and emigrated and own businesses out there. And all power to them, you know. That's awesome. But yeah, we'd like to go to local places.
Yeah. Food markets, are they there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go and get food poisoning.
Want to go get street food, get, what is it, barley belly.
Yeah, that's it.
Go to Delhi, get Delhi belly. That's probably the worst part of this travelling trip, is I know at some point I'm going to get violently unwell.
Yeah.
I spoke to one of my best friends. He'd done a backpacking trip with his now ex, unfortunately, but he said one night they were meant to fly to Japan. They both got food poisoning on the same day. They only had one toilet, and it was like they had to just take shifts. It was like one was going, like both ends had to do it, and then they'd have to switch. The other one would have to sit there like, hurry up. They missed their flight to Japan. They had to go the next day, and even on the plane they were a bit ropey. So that's the worst part of knowing that I will at some point get sick.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's all manageable for you.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Couple of Imodium. Next one.
I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, I'll just manifest it away.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll just go surfing.
I'll pray it away.
Yeah. Oh, you go. Just go in the sea. You wouldn't even need to move. Just go. There you go. Fixed it.
Thanks, mate.
Live near the coast.
That'll be you when you go to Bali.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if I want this life or if I'm just afraid to change it. Yeah.
That one's pretty brutal.
It is, right? Why do you find that it's brutal?
Because I'm one of those people who has dedicated, well, at least the last 3.5, 4 years of my life to one thing. YouTube, music, down that path. And it's thrown me into a thing where that is now basically the only option. So I am envious and jealous of people that maybe didn't do that and they did other things. Like, I tried lots of things first. Like, I did, flips coaching, tennis coaching. I've done estate agency, accountancy, working in a supermarket. Like, I've done a relatively wide range of things. But there's certain things that I find myself missing, like colleagues, for example, is a weird one, but because you hate them when you work with them. But like Christmas parties.
Yeah, being self-employed or rather working from home has so many benefits, but it is extremely isolating.
Can be. You need to be successful to where you've got the team, and that's like, I'm in this middle stage, and it's not nice. Hoping next year will be. What's the thing you reflect a year and then go, oh yeah, Will was so worried about that year and it was like the best year of his life. So. But I'm also terrified of the future in terms of like 2025 was so good. How the hell can I live up to that in 2026? Yeah.
Just gotta keep pushing, I suppose. But so you don't know if you want this life or you're just afraid to change it, but because you have wholeheartedly committed to one avenue of life, you understand the impact it would have to change at this point.
Yeah. So
I suppose it's the comfort of familiarity. I don't know why I struggled with that. Familiarity.
Words.
Or the emotional cost of staying. But I suppose it's not a case of right now you're considering changing.
Yeah. No.
But there's likely people out there that are in a life where they honestly don't know if they want it anymore. And they don't know if everything they work towards is wrong. And I can't imagine the identity crisis that must come with that. This sense of losing your identity to go, I've built this life, I've created this life that I'm living. I don't even know if I want it. I've also wondered what that might be like for people that have progressed through academic studies in a certain topic, get to practicing their profession and realize they don't want it. The identity crisis that might come from that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man. That must be...
Well, it's not just that.
exhausting.
It's the, usually if you've had to work a lot to get a job, you've got a lot of debt from going to school for doing that. It's then you're okay, so what? I'm just going to have 50 grand in debt for a job that I don't even want to do. Yeah, very, very brutal.
Yeah, and the world rewards being loyal or being consistent. It's successful, isn't it, to be consistent in something, and the world's going to reward you for that. However, is the fear going to disguise itself in the practicality of conformity, or the loyalism that comes... Loyalism? I don't even know if it's a word. Being loyal in consistency, but then you've got to be able to have the emotional availability and the ability to step back, look at something for what it is, and understand, do you like the life, or are you just afraid to change it?
Yeah.
So how do you tell the difference between contentment and resignation?
I think if you're content, things are not too bad but not too good. They're just I can do this. It's not ever going to be... No day is ever going to be incredible, but it's not going to be dreadful, and I'm more scared of what dreadful would look like than I am worried about having these incredible days.
I suppose it's easier to practice gratitude when you're content as well. It doesn't feel as forced.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel as difficult.
Just got about enough that I need. It's let's just keep doing this.
Yeah.
Whereas resignation is I guess that means it in the context of I just don't want to do it anymore.
Exactly. Not resignation as in I'm handing in my notice.
Yeah. But that's just things are getting... The balance has shifted to where it's far more negative than good. And it usually has to be way more negative than good to actually inspire change.
You've said this before about the driving 2 miles versus walking, yeah.
Yeah. It's you need to have something change in your life that is dramatic enough to where it forces you into action.
So how do you know it's the right time to walk away? Because
it's never the right time.
The thing you alluded to was, or rather you are better at saying this than I am. I'm not very good at paraphrasing this one, but if something was 2 miles away, you would drive. If something was 1 mile away, you would walk. So
you get 2 miles quicker than you would get one.
Exactly. So if you are more uncomfortable, it implies you're more likely to change it. Whereas if you're just a little bit uncomfortable and you're not quite sure and you're sitting in this kind of fear, doubt mindset, you're unlikely to change it because you can see that it's not going to have much of an impact to stay, but it's going to slowly grate on you.
Yeah.
I suppose the first thing you'd have to do is identify the source of the feelings. So you'd have to do some real deep inner work. So what exactly about my current life feels wrong? What would change look like? What change do I want to look like? What changes would I make? What's the worst thing that would happen if I changed? And what's the worst thing about staying the same?
Pros and cons list.
All right, Ted Mosby. Interestingly, I did this when it came to deciding whether I wanted to leave my job. I asked myself very similar questions to the ones I've just said. So, what would be the worst thing that happened if I changed? I was like, well, I'd be abandoning a career that I could definitely have. I might end up really hating the decisions I've made and really regretting it. Obviously, there are, I break my leg, I get gravely unwell, I get injured or whatever.
Yeah.
However, for me, the worst thing that felt like it could happen was just walking away from a career that I could have had. But then if I wanted that back, I can create that again. So that didn't feel quite so challenging. Whereas the worst thing that could happen if I stayed the same was stagnation. And don't get me wrong, I've had a great last year where I was just going on loads of holidays. We started this podcast. The self-development's been real. However, if I stayed the same, I'm consciously choosing to stay the same, and that terrified me, dude. terrified me.
It's a difficult one.
So the first thing I would suggest for people is trying to just identify the source of the feelings, because it can be masqueraded or masked by keeping yourself busy, addiction to other substances, poor decisions, recklessness. So you've got to understand where that comes from and what's pulling the strings. I suppose next is you'll have to start to talk to people. You'll have to air it out. You'll have to discuss it. You have to talk about it.
Give it at least 2 weeks before you say quit your job and decide to go travel.
That's what I did, mate. I gave it 2 weeks. I'd say I came in, I think, 2 weeks before and was like, I think I'm going to leave this time next year.
Yeah,
2 weeks later, I have left. It was a perfectly rational decision. I've thought it through deeply, made all the plans throughout this year to make this decision, and do not feel entirely overwhelmed by the decision I've made.
No, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Anytime somebody checks out of employment, it's like, you're a winner. You just are.
But as we had this discussion yesterday, I've checked out of employment to go into unemployment and do nothing.
No, but you're not, because the podcast's still going.
Yeah, podcast's still going.
So,
but this isn't making us any money yet.
No, but 100 episodes will be coming soon.
50 episodes.
50 episodes coming very soon.
Coming today.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? This is episode 48.
48. We're going to do 49 after lunch, and then we'll do 50 this evening.
Damn. What a day.
What a day, mate. What a day. So yeah, you got to talk to people that you trust, really, whether it's a friend, a family, a loved one, a therapist, a counsellor, ChatGPT, a dog, a journal.
A squirrel.
You got to get it out, exactly. Any other animals you might talk to in your day-to-day life?
A grizzly bear, but not for long.
Okay. Why?
Well, because you'll get eaten.
Not very chatty, are they? They're not very good at listening.
No, they're more quick to anger. It's easier to wind up a grizzly.
Yeah.
I really want to see a grizzly bear in my life.
I've never seen a grizzly. I've seen a black bear.
Are they Yellowstone?
I think so. And I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a see. Where can I find... In the wild, or...
Yeah.
The first thing that came was, where can I find grizzly bears in Red Dead Redemption 2? Jesus. North America, concentrated in Alaska, Western Canada, isolated population in Northwest United States, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Washington. So yeah, you can see it. I've seen a black bear.
Maybe.
Yeah, not a grizzly though. I would have been terrified if I'd seen a grizzly. Yeah.
I'm at the bar downtown, the one I used to go to one at the time. Black bear.
Oh, I do like Black Bear, yeah. He used to be my favourite artist for a while, then I went off and...
It's one of my Desert Island albums. If you could only
Which
take
one?
The Everything Means Nothing.
Oh yeah, that's
a
a good
one.
album. That's his best album.
Mm.
Have you listened to Mansions before?
Yeah.
Did you like Mansions?
Not as much as...
No, agreed. But I like Mike Posner. Have you ever listened to any of his story in his life?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that guy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's so interesting as well, because he comes into the world with Cooler Than Me on the radio and then disappears for however long and then comes back with I Took a Pill in Ibiza and now he's disappeared again.
Yeah. Well, he's been on such a spiritual journey. He went to a monastery and just spent years out there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's wild. But I think he's still writing behind the scenes.
I think so, yeah.
Like, songwriters can't turn it off.
He actually released a new album, and it was like the whole album was effectively like one song. And there was one where he meets back up with Black Bear and he talks about the disparity between their lives. And like, crazy. Yeah, really cool, really good. I can't remember the song, but yeah, really, really good. So yeah, I don't know if I want this life or if I'm just afraid to change. How would one address that? You know, that's such a big impact in someone's life. How can you tell the difference between contentment and resignation? What does fear sound like when it pretends to be logic? Because I think we probably convince ourselves that the life we want, though the life we're living is the life we want. You know, I think that's fear masqueraded behind accepting. You know, sometimes we don't know what's behind door B, so we just choose door A every time.
This is, I think maybe the way around it is never just leave your job without a plan to do something. That's very important. No, but you've got a plan to go and travel, and you've planned out your travel. Like, you're not just leaving so you can sit at home and literally do nothing. You're leaving so you can go and explore and have enriching experiences.
Very nice.
And so that we can go to Bali.
I mean, that wasn't on the list, but I'm glad that you're coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be good fun. I'm excited for it.
I can't wait, man.
Yeah, I'm going. It's gonna be our first time in the Southern Hemisphere.
Is it?
I've never been in the Southern Hemisphere.
Exciting stuff. Love
Unless is Rhodes
No.
Greece? No. Yes, so it'll be my first time in that side.
Nice.
On the other side of the pear, because the world is actually slightly pear shaped.
Is
If
it?
you didn't know that, did you know the what is the highest point in the world above Everest is actually a point like in the middle of the ocean, because of the way that gravity is in that it pulls the ocean actually to be higher than Everest, wherever Everest is in the world. Yeah, just an interesting.
Well, the Earth is flat, so all of these points are irrelevant.
You dumb mother. Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so you got to have a plan. Like if you're in that position and you're worried because staying where you are doesn't feel too comfortable, and you there might be something better out there. Well, make a plan of what you're actually going to do, actionable steps once you're outside of it. Most people have weekends off. Like, use your weekends to think, okay, genuinely, if I was to leave, what would I like to be doing? Like, what are some things that I enjoy? How could I make some money out of doing that?
You got to start exploring, haven't you? Really, if you take the emotion at face value, which is, oh, I'm overwhelmed, I don't like where I'm at, I'm confused, I'm not sure what's right, that is going to feel completely overwhelming, and also it's going to stop any inspiration to want to change something, because it's going to feel all-encompassing, and it's probably going to slam the brakes on. Or might have the opposite effect, where you're just going to do everything more. You need to start exploring in that free time of, okay, what would it look like? Let's play out some hypotheticals in the safety of the world I've created. What would I do? What could I do with my free time that's going to start bringing back life? What changes could I make? But the question I suppose you'd need to ask yourself is, staying in the situation you're in costing you your feeling of being alive? You know, that's really what it comes down to. Do you feel alive in the day-to-day life? Are you passionate? Do you wake up every day with like, hell yeah, I've cultivated this life, I want this life? Or does it just feel safe? Because safety is going to kill any inspiration. Sure, there's times in life where you do need safety and inspiration, but if you're not getting that from your job, your partner, your relationships, your passions, maybe you need to shake the snow globe a bit.
I like that analogy.
See where the snow settles. God, I'm wise beyond my years.
Crazy.
And that's saying something, because I am young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're the same age when Chris Williamson started.
What do you mean we're the same age?
Me.
Oh, right.
Or maybe he was a little bit younger, because he's, 36 now?
37.
37, yeah, so probably around the same age, because he's 37, he's just done 1,000 episodes.
Been going 7 years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Interesting. So what I'm saying...
I'll be there at 32. With all of my subscribers and minions and live shows and merch sales and brand deals and...
What's this, from Will Taylor or Believe for the Noise?
Everything. I've got both, haven't I?
Yes. So, Will, let's just ask the question straight out. Do you want the life you're living, or are you afraid to change it?
I like the life I'm living.
Nice. Do you think you'll ever feel the need to change?
Yes.
When?
Whenever I feel like it. But for now, I'm good.
Do you perceive what changes they might be?
It'll probably just be a shift towards family life, or it'll be a shift in terms of how I perceive YouTube at the moment. It'll be a change in my psychology about how I approach it.
Nice.
But there's no pressure. Like, I'm doing everything I do now because I want to be doing it.
I like that. That's the best way to be. You've picked the life you want to live, you've cultivated it, and you're exploring with it, and you also understand that life is going to move forward, so when the next chapter comes, you're ready for slight adjustments.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how that unfolds in your life, though, because I know how much you love work.
Yeah, but I love... I'm on until I'm off, you know? It's like, cool, I'm a dad now.
Like a light switch. You're on until you're off.
Yeah. I'm not on a dimmer.
No, you're not.
I can't.
You're all or nothing, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a great way to be, but also an exhausting way.
It's
I'm
a great
exactly
way
the
to
same.
pass out of the gym.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I'm all or nothing. And I've also, if I've made my mind up that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that about myself. I have to say I do like that. which is if I've decided I'm going to do something, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to talk me out of it. You know? Yeah. So the question back for me, do I know if I want this life or if I'm just afraid to change it, is irrelevant because it's just kind of played out in my life, which is quite interesting that we're talking about it. I have just changed my life, and I will say on the other side of that question is fear, but excitement. You know, like I'm terrified that I've made the wrong choice. I am. I absolutely
can't have
am.
made a wrong choice.
This is it. There's no such thing as a wrong choice.
Yeah.
It's just a decision. You won't know until it plays out. As we always say, the best decision you can make is the right one. The second best decision you can make is the wrong one. And the worst decision you can make is not making one.
Yeah.
And where I was at felt like not making a decision.
Yeah.
So
So worst
decided
case,
to
you just
change
come back and you get another job doing the same thing.
I will, literally go back to Intrepid and be like, hey, it
Yeah.
didn't work out. I'm ready to go back into the same place. Even if I wasn't where I'm at, same level.
Yeah.
Drop below, go back up.
Within a year, you'll be,
This is it. So
They'll be like, oh, we haven't been able to find anyone to fill that senior slot, so you can just jump in there.
this is it. So that's why. So I am sitting in a slight fear at the moment, you know, like, have I made the right choice? Is it right? What's life going to be on the other side? Because you are casting certainty to the side and you're choosing uncertainty, and that's overwhelming. But I'm also excited for it because that's where growth happens. You can't grow in comfort. Growth doesn't happen inside your comfort zone, as all the cheesy mums like to say.
Unless it's a tumour.
What? I have no idea what you're on about.
It's just like your body can start to implode from within if you get too comfortable, can't it? It's like people cherish being comfortable, but if you're a fat slob and sit on the sofa and eat and drink whatever you like, you're going to get eaten from...
There it is. Okay, sorry. You went from here to here without the middle part.
You needed that
of being a fat slob and
apologise.
just sitting on the sofa and growing a tumour. Is it Family Guy's got I am a tumour?
Yeah.
I'm a tumour, I'm a tumour, I'm a tumour.
I love that show.
I love Family Guy. It's on
Disney.
Disney Plus. Yeah, I've always saying I need to download it, but I never do. I just end up watching the same 4 shows on Netflix on repeat. Although
Why
they
do you
are
have to
adding...
download it?
Huh?
Why do you have to download the shows?
What do you mean? I don't download the shows.
Oh, I thought you just said you download the same 4 things on Netflix.
No, I end up watching. Sorry, I
Oh.
chose download rather than watching.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we've gone through 3. I thought we'd go through more, but we've discussed at some length, I might add. I'm afraid that if people really knew me, they'd leave. Sometimes I envy the freedom of people who've made worse choices than me. I don't know if I want this life or if I'm afraid to change it. Is there any there that jump out at you?
The first one.
First one, I'm afraid that if people really knew me, they'd leave.
Yeah.
Why is it the first one?
Because it just hits. It's like it is a genuine fear that with new people that are coming into my world, or it could be people I'm looking to employ or whatever, it's like if you get to know how I actually work, like finding others like me, there's not a lot of us around. So yeah,
I suppose that's something we've spoken about in the past as well, is you've got to find the others that are like you. And right now you're living in a world where there isn't too many people that you can openly relate to all that much, because it's somewhat isolating. You know how many people can say they are self-employed from YouTube with 450,000 subscribers?
well, even the guy that I met didn't go at YouTube with the same intensity I do. Like he just does it for fun still. Like, how do you make money from something and have fun?
Does he have another job, or is it just
Yeah,
YouTube?
he's bomb diffusal for
Damn.
Yeah, and he says he loves it, which is why he hasn't quit. But he does it for like Big Ben. There's been a couple of bombs that have been placed in there. He does it there, so he gets super high pay. But obviously, there's a high chance of him getting blown to smithereens.
Kaboom. Yeah.
Yes, kaboomy.
Nice. So for me, the one I liked the most, number 3 has the most sort of actual advice from where I've lived my life, which is I don't know if I want this life or if I'm just afraid to change. However, sometimes I envy the freedom of people who've made worse choices than me. I really like that one because I think there's so much depth to it, and the envying of people that have made worse choices, the discipline that comes with sort of monotony and wanting to work on yourself, the sacrifice that comes with, and the sacrifice that comes with freedom as well. the duality of that. I really, really like that. So yeah, well, that's our episode. I've written our word down, or my word down. I don't think you're going to get it. I'm not confident, but I've gone with it anyway.
Bear.
No.
Oh.
Desk.
Oh. That's bear disappointing.
All right, Roadman.